Hi everybody, it's Diana with Stamping with Di. Welcome to this week's videos. I'm so glad that you are here on my channel. If you are new, my name is Diana and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Santan Valley, Arizona. And I'm so glad that you're here. Make sure you say hi and let me know where you're viewing from. And I am so enjoying all of our friendships here on my channel, so it's awesome to see where everybody is coming from, because it truly is a small world. So this is Mimeograph Monday with a twist. So if you are new, it basically means I'm going to case a project out of the current catalog, and then I will do a second card or project with my twist on it. So these have been very fun. I've been doing them for a while, and it's just kind of fun to get that inspiration from the catalog, which is so full of amazing ideas, and then just put my own little twist on it. So I love having most of you vote at the end which one you like the best, and that's always fun. So so that's what we're going to do today. All right, so it's Mimeograph Monday with a twist, and let's get started. All right, so I'm just going to cover the camera while I get in position, just so you don't get seasick. All right, that looks good. All right, so what we're going to be using today, the stamp set, it's a hostess set, and this is the Sit, Stay, and Relax, and it is so fun whether you have animals or not. It's a cute set. I love the chairs. I think if I were to have one of these chairs in my home, this would be my first one that I would choose, because I love this style. This is a little fancy for me, and this one's cute too. So anyway, so this is the stamp set we're going to be using. The card is, so you know where I got my inspiration from, it's clear in the back of the main catalog, and it's this card right here. I just love all the circles and the whole layout of it. So that's the card that I'm going to case. So the first one will be like this, and then the second card will be my twist. All right, so let's get all this stuff off my desk, out of the way. All right, so I have my recipe here. Now, the recipes, you can find them, I have it on my blog as well, but with the catalogs, but they had said it was beautiful shapes, dies, but it's stylish. So I sometimes find boo-boos on the recipes, and that's always fun to be doing the card and like, what? Where was that used? So that's always fun, because I'm not the only one that makes boo-boos. All right, so these are the pieces that we're using. So this is soft sea foam, and it didn't really tell what cardstock to use, but it just mentioned some of the ink. So then I just went, you know, with what went and what I envisioned the card was. So the soft sea foam is the card base. And then this is going to go on the inside. So we have all these fun little circle shapes. And this is Pear Pizzazz and then basic white for our white. All right, so these are just going to get glued on. And you want two of this size and one of this, even though you use a big one for the chairs. So that was just me figuring out, trial and error. That's basically how I figure these out. What doesn't look right, when I get the card done, I go, oh, well, it had to be the different circle. All right, so we're going to use Pear Pizzazz for our ink for stamping the chairs. All right, so first we're going to do this one. So this is a fun set. So we've got our big chair on our big circle. So this is a hostess set. So if you are placing an order that is $150 before tax and shipping or more, you can get hostess benefits. So you could choose this stamp set for free. All right. Then we have this cute little fancy chair with the cat. And then they also mentioned Rich Raspberry is their ink. So that is the greeting. And the greeting says, "You feel like home to me." Just in the center of the circle. Okay. I'm going to, off camera, I'm just going to wash these really quick because I'm going to use a different ink when I do the twist. So I just want to make sure I've got all that pear pizzazz cleaned off of there. I also, while these ink pads are open, I want to just stamp on the inside. So I'm going to choose this chair for the inside. So again, I'm going into my pear pizzazz, and we're going to put the little puppy inside. And then the inside this time is going to say, "Just sitting here thinking of you." And this is got some really cute little sayings. So that goes right there. All right. Again, I'm going to wash these up just really quick. And then you want to make sure that you decorate your envelope. And I'm so bad about doing that. I mean, I should do it, right? I say I'm going to do it. Why don't I just do it real quick? Grid sheet here. Because I like to, when I do the envelopes, I kind of like to just be on this left corner, and I like to go off the envelope, so I just want to protect my desk. All right, so we're going to just put this little kitty down here on our envelope. So now my envelope's done. So see, I don't know why I don't do it. I guess it's just more, I forget. All right, so let's bring our kitties over. Now they did do a little bit of coloring, not tons, but they did. So they have that they used the watercolor pencils. So I just picked the basic gray one because to me it looked like this was a little gray kitty, and I'm just quickly coloring the little gray kitty with the watercolor pencil. And I'm not going to blend it or anything. I'm just leaving that just colored very simply. There you got your cute little gray kitty. They also mentioned crumb cake, and this little one was crumb cake, but they mentioned it as a crumb cake ink pad. So I was like, well, they must have used the ink pad and a blender pen, even though the blender pen wasn't mentioned. So this is again me just kind of guessing, and it's all just a suggestion. Even when I do my stuff, it's just clearly a suggestion. All right, now this is basic white cardstock, so it colors a little differently than if I were to use watercolor paper or even the shimmery paper, so it sucks that color up pretty quickly. So there's our cute little cat. All right, so I'm not going to color the dog on the inside. He's just going to be a white little dog. All right, so let's put our card together. So this is pretty simple card, really, for how cute it is. All right, so let's put our cute little puppy on the inside. All right, there's my adhesive. So if you ever see a video where I'm flapping my hands and you're like, what is she doing? It means I was editing and I missed that one, because that is so that I see that, oh, I need to do something, so I know to go back to the video and cut out a certain part. So if you ever see flapping hands, that's what that's about. All right, so we have our cute little inside. Someday I should just do the video without editing, and you would go and you would be like, what in the heck? All right, so now let's put our little circles on. So we have our 3 little circles, Now, when you use the die, there is an upside and a downside. So this is the back side. So see how your cut edge, you can see it as it comes around. Anytime you cut with a die, it does have a back side and a front side because it curls that paper, so you can see that. But you definitely can see the stitching, or the little holes, looks different on the back. So see how you can really see the holes on the front. So I don't know if it will focus or not, but anyway, so just always check that out before you assemble, so that you don't have the back side on the front. All right, so here we have our little circles. We're just going to stick them on the card, and I'm just putting them directly on the card because I'm going to pop up these guys. So I want these to be stuck right to the card. All right. Then these ones will go on with dimensionals. And I'm going to put my dimensionals kind of in the center, not clear to the edge. That way, because they will overlap a little bit, and this way I don't have to worry so much about it that it's going to catch that dimensional on the underside, because it's far enough in. It's still going to give it lots of support, but it's not going to be so close to the edge that when I want to bring this one in, it's going to hit that dimensional. All right, so let's put our cute little kitties on here. All right, so our first little kitty is right here. And then our next kitty. So I had so much fun with this card, and wait till you see my tweak one. Oh, and I too always seem to like my tweak cards better, but I think that's because, you know, I put my own tastes on it, right? And that goes with anything. That goes even with a recipe. If you make somebody's cookies and you go, you know what, I really would like walnuts in these cookies, then it's just your tweak. So that's just the same as it is with stamping. All right, so we have linen thread. So I'm just going to tie this up. And it's so funny, I have this on this spool, right? This is just our linen thread, and I just keep putting it on the spool. But I thought, well, I probably should just empty this spool before I keep putting new on. And this seems thicker in here on the backs, on this old stuff. All right, so let's see here. We're going to put this on with a glue dot, and this is just going to go behind that greeting, just so that there's a little something there. All right, and then we'll put this on here. So you see this just sticks out around the edges. All right, so let's put our dimensionals on. I'm going to put those kind of off to the side. I might have to put a couple more on once I get it on the card. We'll just see. All right, so that's going to go right about there. And then I just kind of look at it, right? Because it's a little lifty there, but not too bad. Let's see. So that's not bad at all. So I'm just going to leave it. So there is the first card. And then I don't know what they did on the inside. I just did whatever I wanted. All right, so I'm going to clean up a little bit here. And we'll get started with the second card. All right. Let me put that off to the side again, so I can kind of look at it, so I can bring it over at the end so you can compare the two. All right. Now, here are the pieces, and I'm also using blends. All right, so this is the die. Remember I said this die was different? So this is the actual one that I used, the Stylus Shapes, and then I used 3 of the different circles in there. So that's the die that I used. Now for the twist card, I'm also going to do Santa's delivery because I wanted to make this be a Christmas card instead. but I didn't want to change it too much. So I am going to use some blends. Let me get those out. Let me put some of my ink pads away that I'm not using. This time I'm going to use Poppy Parade and Basic Gray. Alright. So let's get our pieces out here. I'm still doing the soft seafoam. And so it's basically the same card. I just switched out that I wanted it to be a Christmas card. So I'm using DSP, Christmas DSP. So the DSP is actually, let me get my catalog here. It is some Celebration DSP, which is the Rings of Love. I always have to look it up. It's the Rings of Love. So if you are ordering that $150 before tax and shipping in order to get the Sit, Stay, Relax Hostess set, you could pick this DSP as your celebration because you would get 3 celebrations. Alright, and I'm also using this DSP in the mini catalog, which is the Santa, what is it called? Santa Express 12 by 12. It is super cute. I used it the other day. And I liked using it together because they use similar colors. So look how cute these look together, even though this is 2 separate DSP packs. All right. Okay, so let's get my stamping on here so it can have time to dry. All right, so I am using Basic Gray instead of the Memento that I usually use, just because it'll dry just a little bit differently. And this to me looked basic grayish in the little present there, so I just wanted it to be a little bit softer than if I used Memento. All right, so we're going to do the big chair again, and then I'm just going to set it aside so it can just have a little bit of time to dry. So I'm still going to use the fancy chair. Okay, and then on here I want it, so now that we're making it a Christmas card, I want to change out my greeting. So the greeting is going to be this one, special delivery just for you. Because isn't that so fun? So maybe the little kid or whoever you're giving this card to got some kitties for Christmas, or this can be a card for your kitties. I know when we had Toby, he had a stocking just like we did, and he would tear into that Christmas morning. Poor little bub, we miss him so much. All right, so this is the inside of the card. See how I changed the topic real quick. All right, so we are gonna put this ho 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 down on the bottom. I love this paper with the ho ho ho. Some of the writings have snow on them. It's just such cute, colorful paper. So I just chose colors that were in the DSP to do my card. All right, so I'm gonna cut that off the side. So this is the inside. Now the inside, this time, I'm just putting a greeting. I'm not going to put a little critter in there. Alright, so we want on the inside, so if you do have a child that does that elf on the shelf, this is a perfect greeting for that. Elf approved and sleigh delivered. Isn't that funny? I don't think there was such, there might have been something like that when Eric was growing up, but I never knew about it. So he didn't have an elf or anything like that when he was little. All right, so while I have the ink pad out, let's do our envelope. And let's see, we're here. I'm gonna put this little guy, even though he's not in the card, I'm gonna put him on the outside. There. Okay, so my envelope's done. Yay, yay, yay. Alright, so let's close my ink pads, and then we can color these cute little pictures. And I think anything with a little bit of color added is always so much cuter, but that's just me. Alright, so let's start to color. So I have all of these ink, all these colors here. And when I color, I always put my blends like this on the table, and then I can see on the edge what color they are, so it makes it a lot easier. And then I don't have to read, read here. I just read the edge. All right, and everybody asks whenever I mention that. So I have just a name on them, and I got that from, and then I show this always, so just in case, I got this off the internet, so it might be updated now, and it's just Stamp with Sarah with an H.co.uk, and I just printed it out on the basic white, and then I just punched it out with a hole punch. But we now have the tone. So see, this one is a tone. So I just did this myself, and I just did it on a Word document, and I typed SU and then the number like as small as I could, and I just spaced them out, and then I just punched them out. So don't feel like you have to be fancy with the circle. I just still have those because that's what I do. So that way, if anyone is wondering, that's where they came from. Okay, so they're here. So let's start with our gray granite. All right, so we're just going to put a little bit of a floor underneath our chairs, just so that they're not flying through the air. All right, and then we're going to color our little chairs and our little kitties. All right, so I want my legs of my chairs to be like wood. So I just picked this number 600, and that's one of the tone colors, and they come 2 to a pack like all the other ones, and you'll get either like 2 shades of whatever the tone is. So they don't have like an actual number, actual name, they just have a number. All right, so we have our little wood legs. Then let's color. I'm like looking at my, oh, here we go. Let's do our kitties. All right, so my kitties are going to be multicolored, and they're going to be related. So I'm going to go, what is this that I just picked? Pumpkin. I'm like, what am I picking here? All right, so we have light pumpkin pie. So we're going to go light pumpkin pie. So we're just going to go some multicolored kitty cats, because we're going to say they're related. I don't want to worry about coloring them identical. Alright, so we're just going to put some light gray granite. So now we have our cute little kitties all colored. Aren't they fun? All right, and then we're going to color our chairs. All right, so we have a light granny apple, because that was listed as one of the colors. So we're just going to color these leaves on the chair very quickly. I'm not trying to be fancy. So this is, like I said, light granny apple. I just didn't want my chairs to be identical, so that's why I have my chairs a different color. I swear every time I color this image, I always miss one of the leaves. Alright, because they're just kind of faded on there. I think this is the one I usually miss underneath that arm. Alright. It could be the Where's Waldo of leaves when you're coloring. Alright, so we've got almost our leaves done. I love this chair. Oh look, I missed this one. And okay. Then I'm just going to take my light mint macaron, and I just want to put just a little bit of color here and there, but I'm not coloring in the whole chair. I just want to kind of emphasize some of these lines. That looks good. That looks good. All right, so now when we do this one, I'm going to color this chair in. So I'm going to start with my, make sure I have the right one, light mint macaron. So the whole chair will be the light, and then I'll go with the dark to go around the edges. And that could be wood, but I'm just going to have it be a darker mint macaron. Maybe it's painted wood. Do you watch those home improvement shows? I love when people go to Goodwill or secondhand store and they find furniture and then they redo it. It's so fun to see what people's imaginations can come up with. Alright, so this is light mint macaron, and then as it dries, you can see those little white diamonds will pop out. Alright, then we want our dark mint macaron, and I'm just going to go around the edge. So I did pre-tape today, so if you're used to coming on here and it's like when you say something I can like verbally answer you. Today I will be just watching with you, so if you have a question just ask, and then I'll just type it in the chat, because I had a Stampin' Up council meeting this morning and I wasn't for sure how long it was going to be. Well, it's going to be this afternoon. And I thought, oh, I don't want to be stressing if it runs over. So I thought, well, I would just pre-tape. All right. So, doesn't that look cute? That little bit of color. And so I'm going to come back with my light gray granite. And I'm just going to put a little bit of light gray granite just around the edges of my chairs as well, just to make them pop off the page a little bit. I'm also going to add a little bit around the edge of the kitty, and then that makes the cat pop off the page too. Alright, so just that little bit. And you can do, when you're using the blends, you could do the shadow before or after. If you are watercoloring and you're using the ink refills or anything different than the blends, then you have to shadow first, because it will pull the color out that you used, but you don't have to worry about that with the blends. So see how now the kitties pop. They have a little bit of dimension on the card. All right, so let's put our card together. So we have our soft seafoam, and hopefully I haven't called this mint macaron. I think I called it mint macaron at one point, but it is soft seafoam. All right, this is the inside. Now you could use mint macaron, but the soft seafoam, to me, that's what it looked like they used on the card, because there was quite a difference between the Pear Pizzazz. All right, so let's get our DSPs out. So now we had fun DSP to play with. So we're going to add a little bit of color and cuteness to the card. But I'm going to do it the same layout as I had before. Now I just have to be careful how I glue my ho 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 so that they're not upside down. Alright, so we have our ho ho ho. That's going to be there. This one, it doesn't have a directional, so that's always good. Then we have this one. And now the presents do have a direction, so make sure you put them so your presents aren't sideways. All right, so that goes there. And then I'm going to do the same thing to these with dimensionals like I did before. Let's see. I'm down to like little baby ones. All right. They still stick. They still pop your card up. I'm just too lazy to dig out a new packet of the mama ones. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, now this time, let me stick that on there. I want to put different ribbon on there. All right, so we're going to use different ribbon underneath our greeting than we did before. All right, so we have our kitty up here. Then we have the next kitty. All right, let's get this kitty on the card. So she goes out here. And then our greeting. All right, so the ribbon I'm going to use this time, I'm just going to put some adhesive on the back there. I want to use this ribbon. So this is the white, and it's got glitter in it, because since I have like all of this DSP going on, I colored the cats, and I wanted to change my ribbon. I didn't want to have ribbon that had too much color or whatever. So this just adds some cute sparkle because it has that glitter in it. And it's just, I mean, it's going to give me some ribbon, but it's just not going to be in your face ribbon. All right, so I want to put that on like that. And then like that. So I'm putting it on the back of here, and then I can trim it after. All right, then I can put my dimensionals. And if I have to put more dimensionals, I will. I can add more later. Or if I put them in the wrong spot, which sometimes I do. All right, so let's see here. So we've got our special delivery just for you. And you can see I got that one in the wrong spot. So all you have to do is roll it. Roll your dimensional, and it rolls right off the card. Because I should have put it on the card, so, but it's easy to fix. All right, so special delivery just for you. And then we just kind of mess with it, and it's good. All right, then I'm just going to trim these a little bit. So it just had some sparkle, but not too much going on there. So isn't that cute? So there's the inside of that one. All right, so let me push all this stuff off here. So we will show, this is the catalog version. And then this is my twist version. So what do you think? I think they're both cute. But I do like a little bit of color on my cards. So I personally like this one. But if you are a new stamper, if you like to just get done, if you're making 100 cards, this would be the way to go. If you're not making 100 cards, if you're just making like maybe like 10 or 20, then this would be the way to go if you like the color. But always keep in mind, if you're doing multiples, like a whole bunch, kind of keep your cards simple, or start really, really early before you need them. All right, so let me turn the phone so I can say, see you later, alligator. All right, so thank you so much for joining me on today's Mimeograph Monday with a twist. I love the cards. So I love doing these because I always get a few cards and I use them for thank you cards and for club and orders and stuff like that. So it always makes, it's like you come to work with me when I'm making my cards. All right, so I'm going to say see you later. I will see you tomorrow for my Teach Me Tuesdays. I think it's episode 136, and that will be 3 o'clock Arizona time, same channel. All right, so let me get my thing ready so I can say see you later. All right, see you tomorrow. Have a great night, everyone. Thanks for joining me. Bye for now.